Jack's first attempt at recording the police with his phone was met with a threat of detention from the officers, who began conducting a thorough search of him. They even forced him to remove his pants. Although no illegal items were found, Mike did not stop humiliating Jack. With a sneer, he demanded Jack take off his pants and shine his flashlight at his underwear. This action immediately caused dissatisfaction among those around them. Upon seeing this, Alan immediately intervened to stop Mike, but Mike continued his relentless behavior. As they were about to leave, Mike kicked Jack's backpack several meters away. Just as they were preparing to depart, a cup of bubble tea suddenly struck their windshield. It was Jack, retaliating with the help of his friends. In a fit of anger, Mike leaped out of the police car and gave chase. Meanwhile, Alan drove the police car to block Jack's path. The two officers forcibly shoved Jack into the vehicle, planning to arrest him for assaulting an officer. On their way back to the station, a brick suddenly fell from the sky and struck their car. Mike realized something was amiss and quickly reversed the vehicle, trying to change routes, but they unfortunately ended up in another dangerous area. Soon, a mob surrounded them, and the situation rapidly escalated. In a panic, the two officers fled into a nearby residential building, attempting to request backup, but the response they received was that no extra police cars were available. Alan approached Jack and cut the zip ties around his wrists, planning to let him go. However, Mike strongly opposed this and insisted Jack must pay for his actions. Seeing Mike's obsessive behavior, Alan decided to take Jack away himself, but Mike stopped him, pushing Alan against the wall before restraining Jack, who tried to escape. At that moment, Alan suddenly took action from behind, choking Mike as the two engaged in a fierce struggle. Mike pinned Alan beneath him, but at a crucial moment, Jack kicked a canister of pepper spray towards Alan, who seized it and sprayed it at Mike. Seizing the opportunity, Alan grabbed Mike's gun and fled with Jack. Mike staggered toward a nearby sink, rinsing his eyes with water, but just as he stepped out of the bathroom, a bullet struck his arm. Mike ran into the residential building, but soon collapsed from exhaustion. When he regained consciousness, he found himself lying on a sofa with his arm wound properly treated. To his shock, the person who had saved him was Jack's mother. Just then, Jack's phone rang, and Mike hastily ignored the call, only for Jack's mother to see it. She immediately screamed for help, and the neighbors rushed in. Mike grabbed a toy gun from the room and held it to one neighbor's head, causing the others to back off. Seizing the moment, he prepared to leave, but at the elevator, a man blocked his path. Faced with the threat of a handgun, the man reluctantly retreated to his room. Just as Mike sighed in relief, preparing to leave, the man released a vicious dog. As the elevator door slowly opened, the dog lunged at Mike, but fortunately, he had a knife on him. With swift precision, he slashed and subdued the dog. The elevator soon reached the underground parking lot, where two boys found the unconscious Mike. Without hesitation, they picked up the gun on the ground. Mike told them it was just a toy gun. As he prepared to leave, the boys offered to help him. With their assistance, Mike returned to the police car from earlier that day, using the keys to open the trunk and retrieve an automatic rifle. However, before he could leave, a bullet suddenly struck him. Luckily, he was wearing a bulletproof vest, which saved his life. Seeing this, Tom quickly helped him to the back of the car. Mike used the moment to load his weapon and launched a counterattack, eventually dispersing the mob. He then grabbed the radio to call Alan, but received no response.